I am Tanya Bandopadhyay and it is the demo class video for FigCAC coaching. My today's topic is xenobiotics. It is a topic of human physiology and we can go through the video.
Today's topic is xenobiotics. A xenobiotic is a chemical substance found within an organism that is not naturally produced or expected to be present within the organism. That means xenobiotics is a chemical compound that already present in the organism, but it should not in the organism. Okay. It can also cover substances that are present in much higher concentration than usual. It means there is a limited period or limited concentration should be in the organism, but if it is excess, then it affects or it itself called xenobiotics. And next we come to the point, xenobiotics, types of the xenobiotics, and this is exogenous and endogenous. We have the two types of xenobiotics. Exogenous xenobiotics can be divided into 5 topics like drugs, food additives, pollutants, insecticides, and carcinogen. And endogenous are bilirubin, bile acids, and steroids. So what is the difference between exogenous and endogenous? Exogenous xenobiotics are can found in the outside of the body, and endogenous are inside of the human body. What it can be explained as drugs like medicines and etc. Food additives like many color, food color, margarine, arsenic, lead, etc. Pollutants like air pollutants, water pollutants, insecticides through the soil erosion. If insecticides flow with the water and absorbed by the soil, we can get it through the food and etc. Carcinogen like many smoking or liver cirrhosis etc. And endogenous are already present in the body: bilirubin, bile acids, and steroids. Bilirubin, if its concentration get higher, we can get jaundice. Bile acids also work as bilirubin, and steroids are the hormones, and if we take steroids from outside of the body, it could be harmful for our body. And then we come to the source of xenobiotic in nature, throughout which it comes into the human body. So xenobiotic, firstly no conversion at all, and then abiotic conversion and biotic conversion. First of all, if no conversion, there is unaltered xenobiotic compounds, and it deposit in the soil, sediment, water, volatile agent in the atmosphere, and biomagnification of the food chain. If biomagnification of food chain occurs, then it could harmful for all the human and all the living animals live in our earth. And abiotic conversion can be divided into 2 categories: photochemical transformation and chemical and soil sediments. What is photochemical transformation? Photo, it means the solar light and chemical reactions when occurs togetherly and it got through a transformation, it calls photochemical transformation. And then chemical reaction in soil and sediments, if there is any pollutants and it occurs a chemical reaction with the soil and sediments, then it modified organic compounds, less complex compounds, or polymeric compounds. All the organic compounds get modified, and it cannot bind or absorbed by the human body and excreted from the human body. It accumulate inside the human body and it is harmful. So what we next go through, modified organic compounds, less complex, and then it absorption occurs, but there is disruptions. Okay. And humanification bound residues and remobilization. It means it could not be absorbed in the human body. It affects human body, it go through human body but cannot be excreted. It's a toxic element for human body. And then we came to the point biotic conversion. What is biotic conversion? Biotic conversion can be divided into three forms: co-metabolic transformation, partial degradation, and complete degradation, what is called mineralization. Co-metabolic transformation is not metabolic transformation. It happens with the metabolic transformation and it go through the modifying organic compounds, and then the same process as previous. Partial degradation also follows the previous pathway. Complete degradation follows mineralization, and CO2, H2O organic oxides can be originated and it utilization as the nutrients of microbes and plants. It is the source of xenobiotics. And lastly but not least, we come to the point fate of xenobiotic, and it is outside our body, it is inside our body, and then it is outside our body. What is outside in the body? It is xenobiotic formation. Then it enters to the body by ingestion, inhalation, and dermal penetration. Ingestion, inhalation, and dermal penetration grows through absorption into bloodstream and distribution to the blood tissue of organs. Absorption of bloodstream. All the three ways, in all the three ways, xenobiotic come into our body and it absorbed through our bloodstream. Then it fate can be three ways. What are the three ways? 1. Storage. It can be stored. 2. Toxic actions. It directly acts to the toxic action. And number 3 is biotransformation. But the biotransformation already interlinked to the toxic actions and storage. So the toxic actions can be pharmacologic, cell injury, immunological, and carcinogenic. Pharmacologic means it works through our medicines and it can affect our body parts. Cell injury means human cells can be injured, and immunologic means it destroy our immunity power, and many viruses, bacteria can affect us easily. And carcinogenic means it causes cancer. Then biotransformation, it goes through the conjugation, and finally the conjugation occurs and it excreted from the body. But the toxic actions could not excreted from the body. It is inside the body line and there is outside, but it is inside. So carcinogenic, pharmacologically, cell injury, immunologic, and carcinogenic are the toxic effects, and it occurs inside the body, though the xenobiotic cannot excreted. It is the xenobiotic.